Hey guys, welcome to the Dirobi Health Show, the newly rebranded Phase 2.0, shorter, more concise, more to the point topics. And this one's a great one, Lisa.
I'm so excited to be here. This is one that's near and dear to my heart, let me tell you.
Me too. We both qualify as over 40, and having flat abs after 40 is harder than when we were 20. That's true for us. It's true for everyone listening. And Lisa has some really great tips here that we're going to dive into. And I just wanted to kind of set the stage before we do with a couple of thoughts. Number one, if you're really interested in flat abs, I would say change your mindset and how you measure that. Okay. Many people use the scale for almost everything. How much do I weigh? Assuming that if you get to the right body weight, you will then have flat abs, which is only partially true. I'm going to suggest that you guys start to measure your body fat. Body fat is a much better indicator of getting rid of the fat in problem areas generally, okay? And you can learn for yourself over time what number really works for you. And so add that in. These scales that measure body fat very accurately are dead cheap on Amazon anymore. I bought my last one for 27 bucks, Lisa, and it came with an app, right?
Yeah, that's
It,
awesome. Me too.
yeah,
I love that. And even a tape measure, you know, how you look in the mirror, take a before picture, if weight loss is a goal around the middle, and get all different ways to do the measurement because any goal worth accomplishing is worth tracking and tracking it in the right way because it just becomes more challenging as we age. Factors like menopause or premenopause causing hormonal imbalances, loss of muscle mass often make it more difficult to lose weight around the tummy, even if you're exercising
yeah.
regularly and eating a healthy diet. But the good news is we have some tips and it's doable. I've done it, you've done it, and so have our clients.
Yeah, and you led nicely into my second point on measurement. So it's body fat and then a tape measure. The tape measure is critically important. If you're a man and you put that tape measure around your waist and it's more than 40 inches, you're actually headed towards metabolic syndrome. For women, the number is 36 inches. And so when we talk about flat abs, you want to take that and just find out where you are, and don't judge yourself. Don't get all upset about it if you're over that number. Just use it. But as a matter of fact, it can be exciting because those first few inches are going to be the easiest to lose. But those are really important to know because there's two types of fat we're trying to get rid of here. There's the visceral fat, which surrounds our organs. And that's the one that often is too high and we have too much inflammation if our waist is over 36 inches for women and 40 inches for men. So that tape measure test, along with body fat, is how I would measure this. And then what measured gets done, or what's that saying you say all the
Yeah,
time,
what
Lisa?
gets measured gets done. So like just it's just information, and information is power. So not in a way where you're judging yourself. You just got to
Yeah,
look at it like, I have this goal. I want a flat belly, and here is where I'm starting at. Doesn't mean you're going to always
right.
be there, but with our help, we want to support you guys and know that it's not just obviously the flat abs. I mean, we get the jiggly arms and we get the extra around the thighs, and all of that is possible. But you got to know where you're starting.
Yeah, so once we've got that, let's jump in, Lisa. You've got some very specific things that people ought to do if flat abs is in their future.
Okay, well, I got to start with my favorite one. So hit the weights. Strength training is a must over 40. You know, it builds lean muscle mass, which looks good, which over time helps boost your metabolic rate, which slowly declines with age. And I all the time hear people say, I don't want to look muscular, but you cannot tone a muscle you do not have. So the way I look at over 40 and have is by having muscle. I'm not afraid of it. Do not fear the weights.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, and it'll be really hard to get lean without that metabolic machine running. And there's just nothing like weight training to accomplish that. And again, I'm not quite sure, Lisa, where this fear comes from, because as people, if you just go to any gym in America and look around at the fit women, for example, and if you think, okay, that there's a woman that I would aspire to look lean and athletic like her, for example, you almost never ever say, oh, she looks really bulky with muscle. There's just not that many. It's just something that people fear, but it seems to me, Lisa, they don't really have to fear it. It's just not going to happen.
It's not. It's going to help you, not hurt you, because as you near menopause, your estrogen levels naturally decline and cause you to lose muscle mass. So you need to maintain the muscle that you do have. And it's actually the food, not the weights, that make people bulky. So the only way you're going to see really bulky women is if you go over here to California where I live, to like Gold's Gym or one of those kind of places. Like, it's not very normal and typical, and it's harder for us to put on muscle because we don't have as much testosterone as men. So do not fear the weights. Lift the weights. Don't spend all your time doing slow, endless cardio. I used to do that.
Right.
Didn't do anything. It's better to do a circuit and pick up some weights.
What's number 2?
All right, avoid sugar. Sugar leads to insulin spikes, which can cause fat storage, especially around the middle. So try to eat less of it.
Okay, especially unwanted sugar, but even the natural sugars from food. If you're wanting to lean your abs, chances are, this is the tough one about sugar, right? Fruit is sugar. A banana is sugar. They're all sugar, right? So I love
Right.
bananas, don't get me wrong, but all carbs convert into sugar. So really, this is where we talk about carb watching, right?
Right. And also, too, protein is the building block of muscle. So start your day with protein instead of carbs. And when you do eat carbs, just eat more slow release carbs. Because I know you're wanting to avoid carbs, and you really should. If it's like pasta and bread, potatoes, pastries, donuts,
If it's in a box, if it comes
anything
in a
like that,
box, it's not
white
a good
bread,
carb.
wheat bread, it all
Yeah.
causes belly fat. But you can have lentils, sweet potatoes, green vegetables, and those are good carbs.
I love it. What's number 3?
Do more planks. I love
Okay.
planks, okay? And the plank exercise, it works your entire core, including your tummy, glutes, thighs, and shoulders. I like to do a plank all the time. And while I'm doing it, I like to work on an exercise, which is an abdominal vacuum. So you're really trying to get into the deep transverse abdominal muscles. So as you exhale, you want to suck your stomach in really hard, like someone's going to punch you in the stomach, and try to build your way up. You can start on your knees, on elbows, and then move up to your toes and elbows. Start with a few seconds, build your way up to 30 seconds, and then before you know it, you'll be doing a whole minute. And then you can do a minute every other day, and that will really help tone the abs.
Love it. What's next?
Okay, so we touched upon food a little bit. I'm just going to say it again because it's important. You know, you can do all the planks in the world, but if you're not on the proper nutrition, you won't see those abs. So just make sure you're
Yeah.
consuming protein, veggies, and healthy fat at every meal. And I like to push back breakfast myself. I like to start maybe 10 or 11 or 12 and finish at 7, 8, or 6, because you don't want to make dinner your biggest meal of the day, because then you're just, you're going to be just digesting food while you're sleeping. Not
Yeah.
ideal, right, Dave?
Yeah. So intermittent fasting, we have a lot of content on that. Check dirobi.com. And for those in our plan, on our program, they hear about this all the time, but eat during your eating window. We don't have time to cover that here, but it's critically important. And cutting out those foods after dinner and delaying breakfast, one of the best health tips that any of you could follow.
Okay, well, my last thing, I want to actually lob it back to you, because this is your field of expertise, because we have a special offer for you guys in our Skinny Jeans Club, and it involves taking the right supplements. So do you want to talk about supplements a little bit, Dave?
Yeah. Now, first of all, most people are deficient in supplements, and especially vitamins and minerals. Those are the critical ones. Our body needs them and can generally only get them from food. Some of these compounds our body makes, like glutathione, but it makes less as we get older. Okay. So there's some things we have to ingest and some things our body makes, and we need to support our body to make that. So number one is always take a high-end functional multivitamin and mineral supplement. That's always the basis. Number two, probably the ultimate weight loss element is chromium, especially chromium GTF. Chromium is very unstable even from food. Our body can't store it. So even if we eat that huge, big, delicious dark green salad at lunch, which has lots of chromium, that'll be gone by midnight. And so a young researcher by the name of Ned Jensen in the 1980s did research on this and found that if you bonded it with niacin, it became stable. And we've put that in both our pounds and inches drops and in our Mimi's Miracle Multi. So any of you taking those products, you're getting a clinical dose of chromium GTF, which is a stable form of chromium, which has been shown to help people lose inches, as well as balance sugar levels and reduce cholesterol. So getting rid of deficiencies, our body doesn't perform if it's missing critical things. Vitamin D is a biggie. Choline is a biggie, another element that's super critical in our Mimi's Miracle Multi. So filling in the deficiencies and then getting enough of those really cool elements and those vitamins and those phytonutrients that we need is going to be critical, because your body just can't perform when it's missing key vitamins and minerals. So I would start with our Mimi's Miracle Multi and minerals. And if you want to join Lisa and I in our Skinny Jeans Club, where we work directly with people every week, a live event, etc., we have a package for this where you buy the package and that gets you qualified into our group. So check that out at dirobi.com. Click on the Skinny Jeans Club. You can learn more about that. And that includes those core supplements that you need.
Well, thanks, Dave. This is like such a great topic. It's never too late. You're not stuck where you are. Get a vision of where you want to be, and together we can help you crush your goals.
I love it. I hope this has been helpful to you guys. I think all of us would love to have flatter abs, and these tips I think are gold. They're legitimate. They're not flash in the pan and not some kind of fad item that we've talked about here. These are all things that can get you long-term sustainable results. So Lisa, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, and learn more about this and any other topic. We publish these episodes at dirobi.com. See you later.